Alright guys, as promised, got a video for my custom design of my holster for the Pistelle X-68. I gotta give Sticky Holster their shout out because I'm using one of their, if you don't know what a sticky holster is, it doesn't come with a clip, but this material, I don't even know what to call it, but it's clingy, sticky sort of. And this rubs up against denim or your boxers, like you shove it in your waistband and it just kind of stays because of friction. And a buddy of mine had one for his, he had like a little tiny 9mm, and so I thought of that and I was like, if they have a big enough one, this will work. So I ordered that as is, and it was, it was all right, but at the same time, like, even with like a tight pulled belt, it would still slide down just because the gun, the marker's so heavy. So for that reason, I got the idea to add a mono clip to it. So this clip on Amazon, it was like $5. It's literally these two screws and the nuts, so and that's it. And so with the handle of the X68 being freaking ridiculous, to traditionally place a holster upright with a clip that is not angled would leave the handle of the marker sticking out very much, and it kind of pushes out the back side of your shirt. So, but I found that if I angled it and placed it directly down in my lower back like that, that it kind of created sort of a V between the handle and the back, of the dovetail of the or the beaver tail of the gun. And it just kind of like it sat perfectly like right in the middle of my back, and if it stayed there it was fine. So I bought the clip, but this thing's very flexible. It's like, you know what I mean, so like there's no stiffness, and that was a problem. So got the clip on there, which when I wore it, stopped the sliding down effect, and it allowed me to wear it whenever I was wearing like sweatpants. But the thing was the weight of the gun, as you walk, whatever, it tilts, it rocks, it's still kind of like, and the weight of the whole thing for real is pulling your pants down the whole time, which, like, it's just like, you can't really do it in sweatpants. I do, but it's not comfortable. It's not right. When I'm in jeans, it's perfect. Honest to God. Like, other video I posted, that was comfortable. I walked around for like 4 hours in public all day that day. I ended up with my wife later in the day. And I was talking about this, and she was like, do you have it? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, where? And I was like, it's on me. And she was like, has it been on you this whole time? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, even when we went to dinner? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I was sitting in the booth, it was up against my back. And she was like, I never noticed. Like, I never would have thought for a second. And I was just like, yeah. So anyhow, the most recent upgrade in the design that I did, because like I said, it would now sit and not slide down, but it would tilt, and then you're constantly reaching back to like push it over or to like readjust it, and it just makes it kind of obvious that you're messing with something in your low back. So my main issue that I hated was how, with this being flimsy material, just adding the mono clip on there, you could bend this thing up like almost to fucking flat. So like it really just was a stopper. Like it didn't, like these hooks here, sorry I blocked them, but these hooks here and like how it's supposed to cling, like that didn't happen at all. So like it was kind of useless in that sense, which, I was just like, I need something to, like kind of stiffen this up and like, give it that, oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of the camera, but that cling there. So I had the idea, I got a new phone case, and I needed, I have a magnet like right here that I use to like mount my phone on things. Like I'm a coach, I'm a weightlifting coach, so like I video my clients and stuff, and this is like, so anyways, I ordered these metal plates is the point I'm getting at, right? So they have a sticky side, and you just peel and then you stick it on there, and then I can just cling that to any metal and rotate it where I need it for my clients. But anyways, I had extras of this little metal thing, and I thought, that's like exactly the perfect size of this monoclip. And I got the idea to take the extra one of these and put it down in here, which I'm gonna get to. I did, but that wasn't the fix. So like initially, before I even made the move to actually do it, I'm thinking, like, I'm gonna need to, like, get a drill and drill bits and shit and, like, drill holes and then take this apart, put it back together, and, like, you know, for it to ever have any tension. And I don't have a drill, and I was just like, son of a bitch. And, like, buddy of mine, I moved, like, last year, and I'm not near anyone that I know, so, like, I don't have anybody to borrow one from. So I was just kind of like, damn, and this is like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting here at this table, and I was like, you know, I wanted to mess with this, and I was thinking, I'm like, damn it, I can't really do anything else from here. But then I had a little epiphany. So first of all, whenever I took the metal piece, put it in there right behind the monoclip, and I pinched it, and I like tested this, right? And I could tell that if I didn't screw it in with the drill bit thing, like, because I was thinking I had some locked, there we go, Loctite. You probably can't even see it because of the light, but this is like super ridiculous super glue. So I had some of that, and I thought, well, I bet you I could super glue that bitch in there. But then I was thinking it's not going to have, you know what I mean? It's not going to have the tension that I want. And I also, here, I need to make another quick point. I bought some black felt. I don't know if you can see it right here. I bought some black felt at Walmart. And whenever I initially installed this clip, the screw heads were back here, and I didn't want it to like scratch the marker as I put it in, so I just cut a piece of felt and super glued it over the screws, and it was dope, and it worked well, and I was like, sweet, and it protected it. So I had some of that left over, and I was like, I bet you I could super glue that back there, but it won't have the tension that I need. And then I was sitting here tinkering, just kind of bored, and I'm gonna lift my light so you can see this a little better, but here we go. Okay, so I had the full size metal piece like that in my hand, and I just took right here and I jammed the corner of it down directly behind the monoclip. And I was just like, huh, well that made a difference. I wish I had some small metal piece or something like that I could jam down in there. And I got up and like searched my house and I couldn't find anything. And then I was like, I wonder if a pair of steel scissors will cut through that. And what I did was I feel like this helped. I might be wrong, but like I felted each side of that and super glued it, felted each side, trimmed it evenly so it was perfect. And then took the scissors and just tried it, and lo and behold, I cut right through the metal and was like, no shit. So I was able to cut out a little cube and jam it down in behind there. And you can see the felt that was on it. So that added a shitload of stability right here, which it doesn't look like much because the marker's not in it, but here, I'll grab the marker. So, yeah. Now, when it's in there, like, you got all kind of cling, all kind of, like, whereas it used to just bend out. But yeah, so jamming that little piece back in there made a huge difference in the cling factor there. And then I simply cut the excess off of the rest of this and made a perfect square. Put it down, you can see, yeah. Put it down, lined it up right over the top of the screws so that it sat directly behind this as like a plate backing, and super glued it there just to help reinforce this little one that I put in there. And it's been legit as hell ever since. When I wear jeans with a belt, these little prong hooks, they loop right under the back of the underside of my belt, and it won't even rock. Like, it doesn't do this anymore at all. Like, it just stays. And like, I've practiced many times, like a frantic, like, pull it the fuck out quick, like, and it never comes out anymore. Like, it's clean. Another thing too that I didn't anticipate is adding this metal plate and adding such rigidity on this side of the holster made it possible for me to easily reholster it while it's in my low back, which it used to be, because it was so easily foldable. Whenever I would pull the marker out, the tightness of my belt would do this, and then if I tried to reholster it, I would get stopped by like right here. But now, because that metal backing is in there, it stays open a little better, and when I go to reholster it, it slides right back in. So that was an awesome byproduct of my tinkerage. But yeah, man, this is it. I have yet to see anything, even remotely close to my design that even is close to legit for carrying every day. Everything I've seen, it's like this on your hip, which is ridiculously obvious, or, having to wear like a shoulder mount, or, even carrying it in a bag, which like I just think is gay. So yeah, like I wanted something powerful enough, and they made this, and I was like, I need to be able to conceal carry it. I don't know if I'll be able to. It looks huge, but we'll find out. And it came, and I was like, man, it's freaking huge. And I've just had it for, you know, I don't know, 6 months or so like that. And I just keep thinking of new ideas to make it better and better. And I think I've reached the peak because, you know, I got the best ammo. I got, you know, I have yet, and that's another thing. This is the Gen 1, and people have, you know, all kind of issues. I've never had one. Like, you know, it's always worked extremely well. I've ran 20 20 CO2s through it probably. Like, it's, you know, it's legit. But yeah, so that's the video on the holster. Um, Pretty much, if you want to do it yourself, I pretty much explained it. But feel free to comment and ask questions and shit, and I'll answer them. You know, if you want to copy it, I'm not manufacturing them, even though I've been told that I should. But it's like they're extremely specific to the Pistelle X-68. So like if I'd sell, you know, maybe I'd sell 100 of them. You know, if people loved them and thought it was the best, then cool. You know, but like it's not like I can't think of another gun that would take, you know, that would need the tilt. You know what I mean? I can't think of another actual firearm that would need, you know, that couldn't be this. That was my problem. As I looked up initially, I looked up a ton of like soft holsters with the clip, but they were all like this. And once you, especially now that I put East Coast less lethal, I fumbled that. East Coast less lethal. Now that I added their base plate to, you know, extend the mag and make it a little more aesthetically pleasing, it's just kind of, you know, it really puts into perspective how long this handle is. And, you know, it very easily just kind of like points out of your shirt. But with the tilt, here's that V I was talking about. Just sits right in your low back. The hook's under here, lock right onto a belt. Solid.